high schoolers or any grade school student, all their friends, or most of their friends, are their same grade level, their same age. And I mean, I think the answer is obvious, considering that it is grade level, and that is who you're in your class. But I know for me specifically, I definitely like talking to people older than me, or younger than me, that probably sounds so bad, but over my own grade. I think there's something interesting about having not the same experience at the same time. So, question for y'all out there walking. How many friends of yours are not your grade level? This is a stroll in the forum. You're walking with me, Mr. President, Joaquin, and I am here on this beautiful day. 16 degrees. I'm in shorts, which I regret. It's actually chilly. I have a sweater on, but I also have shorts, so totally living that life of, Canadianness. Question topic for today: grade relationships. And I guess to start, I should always do a background. So, grade 9, did I have any friends was I acquainted with people that were not my grade? Not really, unless you're in classics. Like, to be fair, most of your school day is, like, in class, and those are the people that are your grade level. And I think that's a flaw with the education system. I do believe that if we combine grades to an extent, obviously there's that age thing, a maturity thing, but like I think that, at least in my experience, I've had maybe three split classes, and I really enjoyed them over my non-split classes, except grade 8. Grade 8 is a lot more fun as a non-split class. But for me personally, grade 3, split class, grade 4, split class, grade 6, split class. And I was always the younger grade. So I think definitely in elementary school, I had to learn how to talk to people not my age. Especially grade 4. Grade 4, there were only 6 of us in grade 4, while the rest of the class was grade 5. So I don't know, it was very interesting. So I am a firm believer in grade relationships that like relationships and friendships that go beyond that grade boundaries and whatever. For classics, I guess in grade 9, jumping into grade 9, I personally did not really know anyone the grade above, even though we were in a split class. We just kind of stayed in our own corners of the world. I know that there was, probably not, I'm not going to say names, but there was a student who was a year above us, but in the same year level as us. So they were grade 10 in a year 1 class, and that happens all the time. And I know that, yeah, we love them, but I was not in class with them, so I didn't know them as well as my other friends. But I guess truly though, the relationships I had in grade 9 with those outside my grade were with the grade 12s, but that was simply because they were quizzing us all the time in junior trivia. So you got to know them, you got to know their personality and what makes them laugh, especially when you yourself do not know the answers and you need to somehow lighten up the mood. If you remember from junior trivia stories, my junior trivia stories, I was not the greatest studier, but I do think I made great relationships with the senior students, at least. Moving on, grade 10 was definitely very interesting because there was a grade below us now. We're no longer the youngins. We're no longer the young ones. And I think I tried my best. I definitely tried my best to get to know them. I know very specific people. I can totally tell you I really wanted to talk to them all the time, but unfortunately, different lunch periods is not fun, especially when your lunch period is period 1. So I could not. I think at most I talked to maybe 3 people, like, weekly of that grade. I like now, I talk to you guys all the time, but I think grade 10, talking to grade 9s is a lot harder than I care to admit, only because of my schedule. I know there are people out there that were really good with the year below. Senpai, I'm looking at you. Senpai. Yeah. So, I don't know. Looking at it from an objective, third-person perspective, I could definitely see the merits of such a relationship for young people, for the grade 9s. Because, you don't really join a club to join a club at first, right? Maybe you're interested in the subject, sure, but mostly you do it because the people are great. At least that's what I joined. Until, well, here I am, president. But, for the most part, I only joined because my friends joined. And I think having friends that are not of your grade level in a club is very important. And I definitely strive to meet people halfway in that sort of way. I don't know. I think each grade has a different relationship with each other. Definitely. I know with, maybe the past year 1 classes, maybe not now, because year 1 classes now are, all together. You guys have 1 class. We had 3 in our grade 9 year. We had 3. We barely knew each other. We barely knew anyone in high school, right? And, yes, it was in person, so there's that. It's not COVID. But, I don't know. I didn't really know anyone in the other classes. Except, I barely knew the people in my class. Right? I knew everyone based on a rating of how well they answer questions in class. And then, from there, you decide who you want to work with for things. But I know, that class is very interesting. Year 1 Latin class. I'm only remembering it now. But I think that, with grade 9 specifically, and I know it's gonna suck to hear, but everything kind of comes together by June. You guys have conference. Because at conference, you guys are, bonded. You guys are suffering through the same trauma. It's not trauma, it's a lot of fun. But you guys are, dealing with the same stuff. And, you guys stay up together, and you guys learn from the seniors what they do to, have fun. You guys kind of follow it, and you do the chants, and there's a lot of spirit, there's a lot of emotion, lots of fun. Conference is definitely one of those well-defining moments in your Latin career in grade 9. And I know it sucks that 2 grades now haven't been able to have that, that experience. And you guys will get it, cross fingers, next year. But yeah, so conference is very important, I think, for the club in general. But especially for grade 9, because that's when everything kind of comes together again. There's Katamen and all, and Katamen's great, but once you do the fall Katamen, you're well, spring Katamen's just the same. I mean, for those that have actually done spring Katamen, they can probably say something different, but for me, I've only done ever a 1 fall Katamen. So, yeah, that's very important for grade 9s. That's a tangent. Grade 10s. I think grade 10s, grade 10s, people say is the peak year for conference. Because by that point you know what you're doing, but you also don't have the stress of grade 11 subjects. And that could depend on each person. I know that there are definitely people that said they didn't do as well in grade 10. Or there are people that say they did amazing in grade 10. And I think it just depends on the person. But I think generally you don't have as much stress. I think grade 10 is definitely the least stressful year. Because grade 9, you're trying to figure out what you're doing. Grade 11, you're trying to figure out what you're doing again. Because science courses in grade 11 are a slap to the face. Yeah. But grade 10, none of it matters. You're just chilling, you're just having fun. But I think, grade 10s. What did I do in grade 10? I didn't do anything in grade 10. I was X affairs. We didn't have intertrivia yet. Or, intertrivia was never a thing. Other than 1 year we actually did it. So, I don't know where that's going. But, no intertrivia in my year. just make a name for yourself within classics. Grade 10. Grade 10 is a very interesting year. If you're stressed about grade 10, I envy you. Or, no. I will tell you you're wrong, but I applaud your commitment to being stressed during high school. But honestly, you have nothing to worry about. Maybe if you absolutely are failing all your classes, then maybe. But like, if you're in classics, I don't think that's the case. Or at least you should care about Latin classes. Well, grade 10 is grade 10. It's kind of like grade 9 part 2, except you know what you're doing. Grade 11, I think, is really when it starts getting more serious, I guess, like, especially with exec. You get senior positions, maybe, or VP. VP is quite the interesting thing, I have to say. I will probably use this, but I know what my predecessor told me. It's a great question to ask the VP, is, what is your role? Because if they cannot answer that, then do they really need to be VP? I don't know. Fun. I am so glad I didn't get that question, because I didn't have to do an interview, because elections were actually there. What was I talking about? Relationships between grades. I have seen great relationships between grades. I have had great relationships between grades. I still do have relationships with, or friendships or whatever, with people older than me, even though I'm grade 12. And I think that's less a classics thing. That is a choice you make, whether or not you want to pursue friendships like that. And if you don't, that's okay. If you do, then pursue it. That's my advice to you, President of Classics, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, darn, I can't get into any specifics. I can't use names. I should just use pseudonyms. Okay, let's go with avatar characters. So let's say I am Aang, and I have two friends. I have Sokka and Toph, and we're all like, we are what's called the triumvirate, right? Despite the fact that I am now the president, I am now the head avatar or whatever. I don't know, my metaphor here kind of fell apart. But even though, like, I still ask them for help, and I still ask how they're doing. And I think that's the type of relationships that you can make in classics, and that's always great. That's pretty cool. It's always good to have friends, but especially friends that are older than you, because then you can ask them how they're doing, and you can learn from them. I think that collectively the human race should be doing that more. We should be learning from each other, learning from wisdom and experience, but alas we don't. We just let the fools stumble around until they become wise. Yeah. So yeah, grade 11 was definitely one of those. Though I'm stressed about school all the time, because grade 11 is, once again, a slap to the face. I think that when you're in grade 11, you're in this weird safety net position where you now have more leadership positions, leadership roles, but you can always rely on the 12s, you can always rely on other people to still do what you can't. That is true for music council, that is true for classics exec. It's probably true for any club where they let the grade 11s be senior positions. Yeah, probably. I can't speak to anything else other than exec and music, but that's definitely how we do it in both places. I think as a grade 11, you definitely feel older. Because there's no way to get around that. You like when you're in grade 10, you can at least acknowledge the fact that the grade 9s are just a year younger than you and you just have slightly more experience than them. But like, when you're grade 11, you realize you're closer to graduating than you are to the grade 9s. And it's kind of humbling in a way, where you realize just how long you have left in high school. And it doesn't help when your grade 11 year gets trampled out by the world and the pandemic. But that's definitely how I felt. I will confess, I did not want to talk to the 9s as much as I did the year before, because I felt this disconnect between who they were and who I was. It wasn't until it's not even in classics. It wasn't until music retreat because I'm part of music council, and we run the music retreat. It wasn't until music retreat when, I actually got to see the 9s be 9s rather than the 9s be this statistic that we need to always try to promote to, right? Because in classics, we kind of fall in this trap of we must cater to the 9s. We must cater to the 9s. We must cater to the 9s. It's kind of a trap that all clubs face, unless you're music, in which case it's a trap that they're already in. That's not true. Really, that's a joke. You're not trapped, don't worry. You can always get out of music. Just ask for advice first. Ask if I'm still there. Ask me first. I will help you. Wow, if I'm still there. It's so weird to think about graduating in a year, or in less than 3 months, and I'm gone. What is my legacy at this club? Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, grade 9s. So it wasn't until that's a snowball in the middle of spring. It's just okay. I know you can't see it, but I'm looking at it. There's just a patch of snow that hasn't melted somehow. 16 degrees, and it has not melted. That's crazy. Seriously, I gotta stop tangenting. There are a lot of birds too. Stop off topic. I think that every person needs to have that desire to meet and talk to new people, especially with younger grades, even though you think they're annoying, right? There are definitely someone out there who will appreciate you, and will appreciate what you can tell them, or what you talk about, or whatever, right? What is friendship? If you can't answer what is friendship, then you don't have friends. That's not true. But how can you define being a friend in a few sentences? You can't. It's a lot bigger than that. And that is what you need to try to embody. I'm going to post this, but if you somehow can decipher through my random jumble of thoughts, then congratulations. If you find this entertaining, congratulations. You have made my day. But if you find this extremely confusing, extremely boring, you're never going to listen to this again, then that's okay. I do believe that we do not appreciate our tenants. We do not consolidate their relationship with us enough. And we have steps towards it, intertrivia, more exact positions, whatever. But as a grade, they're kind of neglected because we kind of focus on the 9s. And I think as a club, we have to be okay that not all the year 1 people will like us, and not all the year 1 people will stay in classics. And that is just the truth. But at least the grade 10s, who are already in classics, they will already like us, right? I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you cater to the lowest denominator, then you're leaving behind those that are already in. And I, for one, think that Augustus. That's actually quite a controversial topic. There has definitely been a lot of debate about how we want to proceed in trying to get more people into classics. Long debates. So, if you are the president and you are questioning whether or not you should make a very, very fun Among Us game, or you should do a translation party, think about that. Alright, that's a lot of time spent. Grade 11, talking about grade 11. Grade 12. What can I say about grade 12? I honestly can't tell you much, simply because there hasn't been that much classics in this year. I will say that if you have seen them, all the ads are a lot of fun to make. That is me. The director, editor, lead actor, and camera person for that. It's a lot of fun. And I definitely think Cooked Powwow is one of my favorite things to ever come out of this club. Probably because I am the star of it, or one half star. The other star is the singer, obviously. It's not me. Those that made a pedestal in my honor, I can't imagine. I can't believe that happened. Oh my gosh. So what have we had so far? Grade 12, grade 12. Events. We had a Curtometer conference. We had that. Most recent as of making this video was the scavenger hunt. That was a lot of fun. I really liked seeing a lot of antique stuff from antiquity, but there are also a lot of those memes. Obviously, we are classics after all. We love our memes. So that was cool. I think that overall, I wouldn't say this year is a failure or a success. I think that I enjoyed this year. I am enjoying this year. And I definitely think that's because of the people that I already know. And the people that I'm getting to know. Looking at you, can I make this reference? Is this kind of sketchy? Okay, I'm looking at you, Wilson, man. And you, other person, there's a different person. You who somehow have every Percy Jackson book on hand, ready to go, and I'm very confused, but also very glad that I'm not crazy. Percy Jackson was very popular, but I think it's become less popular as time has gone on. So it's comforting knowing that there are still people out there in the younger grades that like Percy Jackson. Yeah, so grade 12 has been interesting. I will say that one of my favorite friendships in classics is with someone who is not of the same grade as me. I will not say who. You can guess. There are probably several options. That's kind of vague. And to those that are of my grade that are seemingly offended, I love you guys. But I feel like I would have met you even without classics. So you don't count as classics friends, you count as just friends. I mean, oh no. Now I'm kind of saying that those that are in classics and also my friends, but not my grade, they're also not my friends. So you get what I mean? Trying to be nice. It's not working very well. I'm overthinking it. Relationships with... I guess I should probably, describe one friend using a pseudonym. And maybe that would be fun to listen to. I guess it would be, my predecessor. I think he is, well, actually, you could probably guess the name based on the website, but I'm gonna go use a pseudonym just so I don't get sued later on. Let's go with, let's say Ira. Is a reference. If you don't get the reference, this means you're not my predecessor. We'll go with Iro. Iro is quite the person. I think I learned a lot from Iro. Not only about being present, but just being a person. And, had a lot of interesting facts about Christianity. Oh no, religion. Yeah, I'm not afraid of talking about religion. We talk a lot about Christianity. I am Christian. I'm Catholic Christian. Some people don't consider Catholic Christian, which is stupid, but that's just me. I am Catholic Christian. Iro is not Catholic, but he is Christian. And, I don't know, a very interesting conversation about that, especially in relation to Latin and all that. I don't know, there are times where I'm just we're just talking, there's a lot of conversations actually. I think something I took away, especially from Iro, was live meetings, which ironic considering COVID, but the first experience I really had with Iro, the first experience I had with Iro was way back during a concert, during whatever, right? But the first president, vice president one was after exams? There was an exam. No. It was an exam table. We were with Sectra. I'll just go with Coco just cause I already had the reference down. So Iro, Coco, and I were all the same thing. And he all of a sudden asked us if we could make it to this live meeting. And I think we could have easily done this over a call. We could have easily done this over text. But the fact that it was long, it really stuck with me. And I believe it's actually a really long episode walk thing. I am just strolling here. Time 2:58. I have 12 minutes before band. Rip. Okay, more about Iro. I think with Iro, I also learned about more like, I once thought that being president of Classics meant that you were constantly serving others, and I mean, there's still that. There's still a large amount of, you're doing more work than other people, but that's okay. If you're the leader and you're not doing the most work, then you're not being a very good leader. In my opinion, I think that it taught me that I can ask people for help if needed. Which I do a lot. And, I'm not going to say a name, but the person who has done the most for me in Classics, definitely, I hope you know that I appreciate you. And I hope you know that I'm very thankful that you've stepped up a lot. I guess that's it for Iro. Like, that sums it up pretty well without getting to any specifics. Plus, I don't even remember all the specifics. There was definitely a lot of, discussions about, music. But isn't that true for all Classics students? For most Classics students, music is a great big topic, which I hope to talk about. Anyway. Oh, I should probably sum up. What did I even talk about? There's a lot of just tangents. I guess, to sum it all up, is that if you're an older grade, you've been through conference, you've done all the stuff, and you're wondering, what more can I do? Or why should I still do this? I've already done it. The answer is teach more people. Teach and share your wisdom with others. The answer to the question of what do I do after I've done everything is you teach people how to do everything. Or you experience it again with them. There's something powerful about that. Anyway, to sum it up, yeah. Relationships, especially with people older or younger than you, are very important. Try picking one exec member or one person older than you in Classics that you may have talked a little bit to, but then also just didn't usually. And just figure out who they are. And if you're an older grade, you have a lot to share, a lot of experience. Even if you don't think it, even if you think you haven't gone through life, you still have something to share, something that the human race will be better because of it. I don't know, kind of make it very dramatic, but I'm right. You can't say I'm wrong. You have a unique experience that other people will benefit from learning about. And I think overall, just, you may think that you're alone, or you may think that other people want to be alone. But oddly enough, it's never true. In both cases, it's never true. So yeah, this has been a show on the forum. Thank you for walking with me. Have a nice day.